Hello, my name is Aaron Waymire. I'm the director of High Mountain Counseling and Training Institute. Uh, Doing this video, obviously, from my office, which has been converted pretty much to all telehealth stuff, but wanted to take a second to talk about secondary trauma. Um, in the wake of the COVID epidemic, there's something that's going to kind of come down the pike in the next couple of weeks to month, maybe, that I do think is important for people to kind of be aware of, and that is the secondary trauma that's going to occur at the expense of videos and articles and things that people are going to start to post online. We've already seen this occur in Italy and different parts of the world. It's definitely coming to the United States. Oftentimes when it's happening in other parts of the world, psychologically we can sort of remain distant from it. But the minute it starts being real and we start either hearing of loved ones or people we know with direct connections passing away, or these tragedies that are occurring in the hospitals, images and all that, that's going to basically really have create what's called secondary trauma. Secondary trauma is basically anytime you are experiencing a traumatic scenario, and it's in a second format. So you're hearing a story, which obviously is the mechanism through which it will be communicated with um, social media. The research is showing that that has a neurological impact on our brain in many contexts that's similar to how acute trauma occurs. And what people don't realize about secondary trauma is that you're storing it in your body and you're not even aware that it's happening. So the example I give in my trainings nationally is I was watching a movie called Antwone Fisher years ago, where there was a scene in there where Antwone kind of says, "Why does everybody always got to leave me? My mother left me, my Jesse left me, now you." And I started sobbing in the movie theater uncontrollably when he said, "Why does everybody always got to leave me?" And it was shocking to me because I didn't have parents that abandoned me. None of that occurred. And if you watch the movie, you'll understand the context of that statement for Antwone. But I went back and had a conversation with my supervisor at the time to try to understand why I had such an emotional outburst that didn't really seem connected to anything that I had personally gone through. And he started asking me stories, and he basically said, "Well, tell me," I was working in a group home at the time with kids that had been abandoned, neglected, and abused, and he just started asking me stories. And I started basically saying, he said, "Well, what happened with this kid? And tell me this kid's story, and tell me this story." And what I realized at that moment, and it really kind of connected with me, and I talk about this in my trainings nationally, is that by that point, which is about 2 years into my work at that group home, this was story after me hearing story after story, reading file after file of children that had been abandoned and abused. And I had been taking that into my body, taking that into my brain, and storing it. And it literally took a movie scene for that trauma stored in my body to start the process of release. So I say this in the context of this current COVID-19 epidemic, and just encourage people to really, it's okay in the next few weeks, I think, to go ahead and reduce your exposure to particularly the social media feeds, which, it's hard to know where that information is coming from, what's real, what's not, what's exaggerated, what's not. And really maybe just start to focus on getting your information every other day, maybe every other couple days, probably at the main sites for dissemination of that information. I just want to say that out loud, get this on video, and really just give people permission. Like, it's okay. You're going to want to drive towards work, looking at the social media, because that's the addictive nature of that process. But I think considering how it affects us, it's actually going to be a lot healthier for us emotionally if we detach from that for a little while and as healthy of a way as we can. I'm not saying we don't look at all. I'm saying absolutely reduce our exposure to the visual images and the videos associated with secondary trauma. And thank you for watching, and share if you feel like this video has been helpful.